back to Market of the Moment. I'm Don Chakowski, the Director of Channel Sales for Fidelity National Title, joined as always by Ms. Sharon Terhune, our Sales Manager and Vice President for Arizona, and keeping all of us sales guys and gals in line over here on her sales team. So,
it's a full-time job,
yes,
folks.
Yeah.
Plus.
Well, I tell you what, Sharon, how exciting. We have Adam back, Adam Prather
Love
with Russ Lyon. And Adam, thank you so much for coming back for a second week with us. Last week we kind of talked about, your history in the business, how it came to be, how you came to be as a realtor, and also understanding the sales process, right? We talked about that to a degree. So I think maybe we start off today talking about a team versus an individual agent and what that looks like as well. What it looks like maybe to be working with you also. And
sure.
So why don't we start there, and then we'll kind of go into some of the aspects of what trainings are offered and all that.
Absolutely. That's a big question that you get when you're jumping into real estate and or even maybe been in real estate for a little while. Like, what should I join a team? You've probably been approached by somebody, especially with a lot of the team models that are out there. And the short of it is, when you join a broker, they only have limited resources. The broker has to worry about a lot of the paperwork, a lot of the compliance, make sure that you're there, and there's not a whole lot that is offered beyond that.
Right.
Now, the broker themselves, they might have some skills, might be able to offer you some advice, some just high-level coaching ideas about like, hey, go get it, and some motivational, father, mother figure type, and then maybe the broker might pull in some resources to do some trainings here or there, but for the most part, you really do very quickly feel like you're on your own. When I first got in, I was on my own, and I did a deal with with a family member, and then I closed and I went to my broker. I was like, okay, how do I get more business? He's like, do your thing. Pick up the phone, do some open houses.
Best advice ever, do your thing.
Yeah. So and you really feel alone. And so with the team model, that's where you come in and we hold your hand basically through the whole process. We're looking for people that have shared values with us, grit, hardworking, self-responsibility, things like that. They're willing to put the work in, and we just are committed to your success, committed to creating opportunities. And whether that's systems, leads, coaching, on-the-spot trainings, ongoing trainings, keeping you updated on the marketplace, that's where we're just going to provide that whole support. And then that allows the agents really just to focus on selling rather than wearing all 25 other hats it would take to run a business on your own.
Well, and I love how the last line you just said, running a business, because what I think a lot, and we were just talking about this, how many agents are gotten out of the business already with the market shift and what's going on. And it is about running a business, and it's expensive to run a business, right?
Right.
It is. It's expensive, and you have systems in place and people in place that help support all those folks on the team, that they don't necessarily have to incur the expense that you're incurring to keep those people and keep that business running. Same thing with the brokerage level. Quite honestly, what you were saying about the brokerage, they have resources, absolutely, but are they going to give you the CRM and put you in the leads programs and do ongoing script training and coaching and all the things you're talking about? That's probably not happening.
Right, absolutely.
Well, we talk often about having the tools, but then wrapping them in best practices, and I think that's what a lot of folks get from the team, right? That's
absolutely.
It's not just a matter of having sky slope available to you or whatever that process is, or if there's a shared CRM within the brokerage, but it's about what do you do with all these things now, right?
Right.
So well, we were going to talk a little bit about training today as well, and we previously not on the show, but we talked about 3 different types of training, 3 different levels of training. Like for when people go through real estate school, there's not a lot of sales training and support of how to go out there and break into the business. So can you tell us a little bit about, so we'll start with that, and then we can talk a little bit about maybe those folks who are more established and what kind of training support that they can benefit by. And then also we want to talk a little bit about luxury and what that looks like too.
Yeah.
So why don't we start off with the newer agents and how they can benefit by being involved in the training with you and all that.
Absolutely. So for the brand new agents, it's really about cutting through all of the different things that are out there. What do I need to learn? And it's really boiling it down to those basic things. How to have sales conversations. What kind of business am I in? I always, for example, I always tell my new agents that come and join, they get a client and I tell them, listen, they want a house, not an agent.
Right.
And if you can take that idea, that's going to help just remove so many speed bumps that you would have when it comes to working with somebody. And so just what are those basic skills, how to have those conversations, what the psychology is required, and really what is it going to take to be successful and the amount of work that you would need to put in.
Excellent. Yeah, well, I think that's great. And that's what I love that. They want a house, not an agent.
Yeah,
and,
I
haven't heard that either.
Yeah.
I definitely, I think that's important because, we talk a lot about, the branding of ourselves and we talk about all these things. And I think a lot of newer agents kind of get stuck with that whole, I have to build a brand and I have to have this and all that. But the reality is that what the consumers out there looking for? Or, no,
right.
that's
or is that
really
what
not.
you want to do?
Right.
So, okay, so now for the agent who's been around for a little while, maybe some level of success, maybe they're doing great, but what other areas that they can improve on? What kind of support do you provide around that?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. And so this is going to be, your agent that's, maybe looking to have more consistency in their business. So maybe looking at a business plan, helping them develop, the areas, a deeper area where they can get more out, be more efficient with their schedule, dial in their business plan. Also start creating opportunities through, maybe through what are some different lead sources that I might explore that are complementary to what I'm already doing. Also looking at CRMs and what are the minimum things that are important at this level to make sure that you're touching your clients the way that they need and you're getting that repeat and referral business, which is what everybody wants.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's your gold mine, or your, what do we call it? Your data bank.
Yep.
Your data bank. It's
Data
building
bank,
your
yeah.
data bank and making sure it's there,
Yeah.
feeding you.
Well, and then you're leveraging it properly, right? That's
Yeah,
going to be so
absolutely.
important as well.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, and then onto the luxury side, and Russ Lyon is known as a luxury
we're
brand.
top, we're top of the state.
So tell us about how folks even if it's just attending trainings with you, not necessarily joining your team or how they can see more into that luxury part of the business.
Right, and maybe answering this question, maybe answering a different question, which is what is the difference between selling luxury versus your average price point?
Yeah, that's a great question.
And I would say it probably boils down to one thing. It's do you have an ability to relate to your client through an advisory type relationship? Do you know how to leverage your experience, engender trust with these folks? Because if they've got money, they're not stupid.
Yeah.
Right.
They've done things in their life that have led to that point, and they want to be treated a certain way, and and there's a lot of care that goes into that. And so we talk a lot about that, and a lot of it really boils down to that advisory type relationship. Am I pushing somebody? We use language like, hey, Mr. Seller, I understand this is a discretionary sale for you. You don't have to sell. My job is to, give you the information, and then you ultimately decide what you want to do. And it allows us to have a respectful relationship and communication with those luxury sellers. And the difference is you may be able to get away at the average price point without those kinds of things, but it's a must at the luxury level. Now, the cool thing is if you master it at the luxury level, you can apply it across all price points.
Yes.
Right.
And that's really where we see it break open for the people on our team. And I've got a couple agents that are in the business less than 2 years, and they're doing $2 million sales.
That's phenomenal. Well, and I think as a coach, your background with being in the financial world really has served you well, working in that luxury market and being more of that consultant type role of in understanding that client base.
Yeah, and even just a value offering right here in this time right here is, we have Mindy on all the time. Yeah. She's talking about the data.
Yeah.
Right.
It's being able to have those conversations because, the most common question we get from a luxury buyer is, should I be buying a house right now? And they don't want an answer, well, what do you want?
Right.
What's best for you? Yeah. No, they want a smart, intelligent answer. And if you could say, well, the luxury market's pretty smooth, inventory's low, anything good is going pretty quickly, and so this is a great time.
Absolutely.
That's an important piece.
Well, and that's part of the sales ability and technique we've been talking about probably for weeks now on Are you selling? Are you sales? I mean, you have to be, because quite honestly, every market we're in is a great time to buy real estate or sell real estate. It truly is.
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
it doesn't matter the market.
Right. Yeah. Well, and we always talk. There's that tree analogy, right? When was the best time to plant a tree? 20 years ago.
Yeah.
Second best time today, right?
Now,
so
right now.
So
100%.
And that's what I can tell you my own personal experience around real estate. It's changed. Owning real estate's changed my life, right? From being somebody who was renting, didn't have a lot put away, and now I've got 2.5 homes, and so
absolutely.
So okay, well, I know you've got some upcoming trainings, and we're going to make sure we're pushing that out on social media and all that as well regarding kind of sharpening your skills around because we talked about how there isn't a lot of training in real estate school for going and being a salesperson. So if you are somebody who's interested in developing some more skills around there and joining Adam for some trainings around kind of a boot camp, we're going to do a day of education followed by a day of practice and putting things into real life.
Like workshopping.
Yeah,
which
is
Great.
exactly. So we don't want to just stand and talk in front of people. I mean,
absolutely.
I get enough talking as it is. So
yeah. And Don, I'd be willing also to offer, even after the training, if somebody wants to, what's it like to be a part of this? Like, what kind of on-the-spot coaching do we get? Because we do that every morning. We have conversations about those things. So if they want to come join and be a part of something like that, we have weekly meetings, we have morning stand-up meetings, and be happy to let them in on that.
Well, great. So we'll reach out to one of us or your Fidelity sales executive to get in touch with Adam. We're happy to put you in touch there as well. So
absolutely.
So excellent. Okay, Adam, thank you so much for the last 2 weeks. We really appreciate you sharing so much with us. And I think it is time for us to kick it over to Miss Mindy Jones and check on what is going on out there in the market. How's inventory looking? What's it all looking like, Mindy?
As the industry gets sidetracked over this week's verdict on sellers' commissions, let me assure you that real estate professionals who've been operating with integrity, transparency, and communication with their clients will continue to do so. As the market evolves and clients have more and more options available to them when buying or selling their homes, ensuring that business practices are upholding the fiduciary duties we have to our clients can only continue to improve the industry. Here in Arizona, we are focused on the shifting market for our clients. What we've seen over the last couple of months is a rapid increase in the active listing counts, bringing this week's total number of available listings to 15,000, still well under the peak we saw in the fall of 2022. The Valley is still in a seller's market, and it's only trending down rapidly due to the increase in interest rates. Although new construction continues to combat this with extremely low rate options and competitive concession packages. Average sales price per square foot continues to trend up and has been steadily, with a small dip in the summer months. Even with less demand, home prices are not taking a hit. While we know that when interest rates drop, prices will increase rapidly and buyers will struggle to get the concessions they need, we just don't know when this will happen. Timing the market has proven costly for buyers and inconvenient for sellers stuck in homes that no longer serve them for the last 5 years. It's important that you understand the potential of the current market and the risks of the one that's coming. We're helping first-time home buyers turn their rent into a mortgage, helping sellers pay off consumer debt, and helping solve problems through real estate, which we believe now more than ever is a long-term strategy that works over time, every time.
Mindy, thank you so much for your update. We so appreciate you and being here every week with us. Don, let's go ahead and see what's going on in the mortgage world with Miss Amber Kovarik at Guild Mortgage.
Love it.
Every year around this time, lenders start to predict what Fannie and Freddie are going to do with their max conforming loan limit. And if they think the limits are going to be raised, they start allowing new loans to be locked with this higher loan amount. So recently, Guild announced that we can now lock loans up to a conforming loan amount of $750,000. So this is an increase from the previous conforming loan limit of $726,200. Now, I know this is a lot of numbers, so bear with me. This new loan amount means a buyer could purchase a home up to around $780,000 and only have to put down a 5% down payment. Now, the caveat is with that low down payment and the high interest rates, they're probably looking at a total payment with everything, taxes, insurance, mortgage insurance, upwards of $5,800. So we have to keep that in mind. But also the big change to make note of is that Fannie may increase the loan to value on 2 to 4 unit homes from 85% to 95%. That means a buyer could purchase a duplex, triplex, or fourplex with only a 5% down payment. Rent out the other units to help generate income and help make that mortgage payment even more affordable for them. Depending on rents, maybe even cover the whole payment. This is probably one of my favorite house hacks for first-time buyers to get into the market and start building appreciation. If you have questions, let me know. Share the news, and as always, my team will be available for all of your weekend pre-qualification needs. Thanks.
Amber, thank you so much. We appreciate your updates every week, and here we are. This is now November, and this is our first episode of November, and yeah, we're on the countdown to the end of the year. So
fall.
yes, we've got a lot of
been
leaves
like
and
last week, I don't know,
something like that. But
looks more folly.
Yes. So well, we appreciate everybody who joins us every week, and thank you. And we'll be back next week. Talking more about business planning and what things are going to be looking like in 2024. So
still got lots of time to keep making it a successful first quarter, guys. Now's the time.
Absolutely. So great. We'll see you guys next week.
Ciao.